Hello to you, friends. This is the first in the What Buddha Said series, where I will read out suttas from the canonical Bible, you can say, Buddhist Bible, speeches of the Buddha, just as I spoke them. And I will start with the very first speech of the Buddha, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the sitting the wheel of the truth rolling. Because I think this is the most suitable way to do it. And it was spoken on the full moon of July. And it's the full moon of July. Today is the 17th, and the 19th July 2016 is the full moon of July. So, and there I will send it out. So I'm making it today, speaking it almost the same, on the same day as it was spoken by the Buddha. On this poya day that comes up on this full moon in 2 days, it is venerated because this was the first speech he gave to a group of 5, the 5 monks, his friends, which have followed him since childhood, because their fathers were present at the soothsayers when they said he would become a Buddha. Told this to his father. They went home and said to their sons that they should follow him, this son, this Prince Siddhartha, when he went out into homelessness. And so they did. But then he tortured himself and they left him. And then he became enlightened by himself alone. And then he looked out after his enlightenment and then said to himself, who can understand these 4 noble truths I have awakened to? And then he saw his 2 former teachers, but they were dead the day before, so he couldn't go there. And then he surveyed the world with his divine eye, and he saw his friends, his old friends, a group of 5. And then he saw that they were in the isipathana, in the deer park of the seers, in Varanasi, Benares, the ancient holy city of India, not far from there. So he went there and spoke this speech to them. Sutta means thread or flow. So you can say it's a thread on the 4 noble truths. So here we go. The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, sitting, rolling the wheel of truth. Samyutta Nikaya, 56, 11, and in the Pali Text Society is volume 5 of the Samyutta Nikaya, page 420. This version I will read aloud is in an edited translation of Ñanamoli Thera, an English monk who also lived here on Sri Lanka, which has been brushed up to make it more modern. So this is the very first speech of the Buddha Gotama, which was spoken and venerated on this very full moon, July day, to the group of 5, the pancavagiya, that had followed him in his quest for enlightenment, but left him just before it occurred, due to lack of faith in him when he gave up his severe austerities, his self-torture. But then he came and gave him this speech which convinced them that he really was supremely self-enlightened. It goes like this. Thus I heard. On this occasion, the Blessed One was living in Benares, in the deer park at Isipathana, the resort of the seers. There he addressed the group of 5 bhikkhus like this. Bhikkhus, these 2 extremes should not be cultivated by one gone forth from homelessness. What are the 2? There's devotion to indulgence in sense desire objects, which is primitive, banal, vulgar, ignoble, and leads to no good. And there's devotion to self-torture, which is painful, ignoble, and leads to no good. The middle way, discovered by the Perfect One, avoids both these extremes. It gives vision, it gives knowledge, and it leads to peace, to direct experience, to discovery, to nibbana. And what is this middle way? It is simply this noble eightfold path. That is to say, right view, right motivation, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right awareness, and right concentration. This is a middle way, discovered by the Perfect One, which gives vision, which gives knowledge, and which leads to peace, to direct experience, to discovery, to nibbana. And what, bhikkhus, is this first noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, decay is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and discontent are suffering. Being joined with anything disliked is suffering. Being separated from anything that is liked is also suffering. Not getting what one wants is suffering. Getting what one does not want is suffering. In short, these 5 clusters of clinging are suffering. And what, monks, is the second noble truth on the cause of suffering? It is that craving, which gives rise to rebirth, drenched with lust and greed, finding lovely and fresh delight first here and then there. That is to say, sensual craving. Craving for becoming this and that, craving for becoming into a new existence, and craving for non-becoming of any undesirable state. And what, monks, is the third noble truth on the ceasing of suffering? It is the complete fading away, ceasing, elimination, and eradication of all craving. It is the relinquishing, release from all craving, the detaching, liberation from all craving. And how is such freeing, removal of all craving, how is such ceasing of all craving gained? Wherever in this world there is anything attractive and pleasant, it is right there and right then, on this very spot, that craving is deliberately left behind and thus ceases. And what, bhikkhus, is this fourth noble truth of the way, the method to cease all suffering? It is just this noble eightfold way, namely, right view, samma ditti, right motivation, samma sankappa, right speech, samma vacca, right action, samma kamanta, right livelihood, samma ajiva, right effort, samma vajama, right awareness, samma sati, and right concentration, Samma Samadhi. Suffering as a noble truth is this. Such was the vision, the knowledge, the understanding, the finding, the light that arose in regards to ideas not heard by me before. This suffering as a noble truth can be understood. Such was the vision, the knowledge, the understanding, the finding, the light that arose in regard to ideas not heard by me before. This suffering as a noble truth has been understood. Now, such was the vision, the knowledge, the understanding, the finding, the light that arose in regard to ideas not heard by me before. The cause of suffering is also a noble truth. Such was the vision. The cause of suffering as a noble truth can be left behind. Such was the vision. The cause of suffering as a noble truth has been left behind now. Such was the vision. In regard to ideas not heard by me before. Ceasing of all suffering as a noble truth. Such was the vision. This ceasing of suffering can be realized. Such was the vision. This ceasing of suffering as a noble truth has been realized now. Such was the vision. In regard to ideas not heard by me before. The way leading to the ceasing of suffering as a noble truth is this. Such was the vision. The way leading to the ceasing of suffering as a noble truth can be developed. Such was the vision. The ceasing of the noble truth, the way leading to the ceasing of suffering as a noble truth has been developed. Such was the vision. In regard to ideas not heard by me before. As long as my knowing and seeing how things really are was not quite purified in these 12 aspects, in these 3 phases of each of the 4 noble truths, I did not claim in this world with its devas, its maras, and high divinities, in this generation with its monks and priests, with its princes and people, to have discovered the supreme self-awakening. But as soon as my knowing and seeing how things really are was quite purified in these 12 aspects, in these 3 phases of each of the 4 noble truths, then I claimed in this world with its devas, maras and high divinities, in this generation with its monks and priests, its princes and people, to have discovered the supreme self-awakening. Knowing as seeing arose in me, thus, this mental release is irreversible. This is the last rebirth. Now, there is no more rebecoming into any new state of being. That was what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus of the group of 5 rejoiced, and they approved of his words. Now, during this speech, there arose in the Venerable Kondanya the spotless, stainless, and immaculate vision of the true Dhamma. Whatever arises, that will also cease. When the wheel of truth has been set rolling by the Blessed One, the earth devas raised the cry. At Benares, in the deer park at Isipathana, the matchless wheel of the truth, the Dhamma-Wheel, has been set rolling by the Blessed One, and it cannot be stopped by any monk or god or divine being or death angel or even high Brahmadeva or anyone in the world. It cannot be stopped. On hearing the earth devas cry, all the devas in turn in the six heavens of the sensual level cried out the same, and even up to the Brahmadevas in the sphere of the pure form. And so indeed, at that very moment, the cry soared up in the world of high divinity, and the 10,000-fold world system shook and rocked and quaked, and a great measureless radiance, surpassing the very nature of the devas, was displayed in the world. The Blessed One then uttered the exclamation, Kondanya knows, Kondanya knows. And that is how the Venerable One acquired the name Anna Kondanya, Kondanya who knows. Here ends the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, setting rolling the wheel of the true Dhamma. As a canonical commentary, I'll give the detailed analysis in the long speeches of the Buddha of these Four Noble Truths. Because what could be better than taking another speech where he's explained this in more detail, instead of taking something from the commentaries. And so this is from the Digha Nikaya number 22, the Foundations of Awareness, the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. So this seems both suitable and sufficient to give this explanation right here of the Four Noble Truths in detail. On the first Noble Truth of suffering, the Blessed One, the Blessed Buddha, once said, one should dwell reflecting on all phenomena as mental states in the light of these Four Noble Truths. How does one do so? One sees, understands, and knows it as it verily is. All this. And such is suffering. Craving is the cause and origin of all suffering. The total absence of all craving is the ceasing of all suffering. The Noble Eightfold Way is the only method to eliminate all suffering. And what, bhikkhus, is this first Noble Truth of suffering? Birth is suffering. Aging is suffering. Decay is suffering. Disease is suffering. Death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, and discontent are suffering. Being joyed with anything disliked is suffering. Being separated from anything liked is suffering. Not getting what one wants is suffering. Getting what one does not want is suffering. In short, these 5 clusters of clinging are suffering. And what bhikkhus is birth? In whatever being and group of individuality, there's birth, coming into being, emergence, appearance, manifestations of the 5 clusters of clinging, development of the ability to sense. That bhikkhus is called birth. And what bhikkhus is aging? In whatever group of individuality, there's aging, decaying, broken teeth, gray hair, wrinkled skin, shrinking and fading away, weakening of the ability to sense. That bhikkhus is called aging. And what bhikkhus is death? In whatever being and group of individuality, there's passing away, cut off, disappearance, death, dying, and ending, a breaking up of the clusters, a loss of the body, a loss of the mind. That bhikkhus is called death. And what bhikkhus is sorrow? Whenever by any kind of tragedy one is feeling sorrow, frustration, distress, mourning, internal misery, or internal sadness, that bhikkhus is called sorrow. And what bhikkhus is lamentation? Whenever by any kind of misfortune anyone is afflicted by something sad, and there's a crying out, grieving, moaning, wailing, and weeping, this is called lamentation. And what is pain? Whatever bodily painful feeling, bodily unpleasant feeling, whatever painful and or unpleasant feeling resulting from bodily contact, that is called pain. And what bhikkhus is sadness? Whatever mental painful feeling, mental unpleasant feeling, all frustration resulting from mental contact, that bhikkhus is called sadness. And what bhikkhus is discontent? Whenever by any kind of anguish one is disappointed, dissatisfied, feeling discomfort, dismay, uneasiness, unhappiness, that is called discontent. And what bhikkhus is being joined with the disliked? Here, whoever has unwanted, undesirable, and disliked sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, or mental states, or whoever is forced into association with or dependence upon opponents, that is called being joined with the disliked. And what is being separated from the liked? Here, whoever has what is wanted, liked, and pleasant sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, mental states, or whoever enjoys company of well-wishers, lovers and admirers, mother or father, brother or sister, younger or elders, friends or colleagues, and then is losing this company, this connection, this union. This is called being separated from whatever is liked. And what is not getting what one wants and getting what one does not want, in being subject to birth, aging, decay, sickness, and death, this wish arises. Oh, may we not meet any new birth, aging, decay, sickness, or death. But such freedom cannot be gained by naive wishing. Such freedom cannot be gained by merely wishing. In any being prone to sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, stress, and frustration, this childish wish arises. Oh, may we not be afflicted by any sorrow, lamentation, pain, or sadness. Despite no such freedom ever can be won, simply by mere wishing or hoping. This is not getting what one wants, while getting what one does not want. And what bhikkhus are the 5 clusters of clinging? The 5 clusters of clinging are as follows. The cluster of clinging to all kinds of form, internal and external. The clusters of clinging to all kinds of feeling, past as present. The cluster of clinging to all kinds of perception, any future too. the cluster of clinging to any kind of mental construction, and the cluster of clinging to all kinds of consciousness. These are the 5 clusters of clinging, that all are suffering. And that, bhikkhus, is called the first noble truth on suffering. The first noble truth is simply this: all this and such is and remains suffering. On the second noble truth, craving causes suffering, the blessed Buddha once said, one should dwell reflecting on all phenomena as mental states. In the light of these 4 noble truths, how does one do so? Here one sees, understands, and knows this as it verily is. All this and all such is suffering. Craving is the cause and origin of all that is suffering. Absence of craving is the complete ceasing of all suffering. The Noble Eightfold Way is a method to eradicate all suffering. And what, monks, is the second noble truth on the cause of suffering? It is that craving which gives rise to rebirth, drenched with lust and greed, finding lovely fresh delight, first here, then there, that is to say, sensual craving, craving for becoming into existence, and craving for non-becoming of any state. And where does this craving arise and manifest itself? Whenever in this world there's anything attractive, anything pleasant, any liked phenomena, it is right there and then, on that very spot, that this craving arises and manifests itself. And what is there in this world that is attractive and pleasant? The eye in this world is attractive and pleasant. The ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind are attractive and pleasant. And there this craving arises and puts down its roots. Sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and mental states is attractive and amusing, and their craving emerges and establishes itself. Visual consciousness, auditory consciousness, olfactory consciousness, gustatory consciousness, tactile consciousness, and mental consciousness in this world are attractive and alluring. And there this craving comes up and implants itself. Eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, mental contact in this world is attractive and tempting. And here this craving begins and reveals itself. Any feeling born of eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, and mind contact in this world are appealing and fascinating. And right there this craving occurs and it stores itself. The perception and experience of any sight, any sound, any smell, any taste, any touch, and any thought is quite interesting and captivating. And there this craving arises and imbibes itself. Intention, wishing, wanting, and hoping for certain sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, thoughts, and mental ideas are enthralling and intriguing. And right there, this craving also arises and substantiates itself. The craving itself, the drive, the push, and rush for various sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and mental objects in this world are attractive and seductive. And there this craving also arises and consolidates itself. Thinking, pondering, and on any sight, any sound, any smell, any taste, any touch, and any mental object is attractive and tantalizing, and craving arises and manifests itself right there. Prolonged speculation and pondering on certain sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and the manifold diversity of mental objects in this world are indeed attractive and interesting. And therefore this craving also arises, manifests, establishes, enhances, habituates, engraves, and deeply roots, and reinforces itself right there. And all that is called the second noble truth on the cause of suffering. The second noble truth is this: craving, tanha, causes suffering. The third noble truth, ceasing of all craving, therefore stops all suffering. The blessed Buddha once said, one should dwell reflecting on all phenomena as mental states in the light of these four noble truths, the core of all Buddhism. All this and such is suffering. 2. Craving is the cause and origin of all suffering. 3. Absence of craving is therefore the ceasing of all suffering. 4. The Noble Eightfold Way is the method to eliminate all suffering. And what, bhikkhus, is the third noble truth on the ceasing of suffering? It is the complete fading away, ceasing, elimination, and eradication of all craving. It is the relinquishing release from craving, the detaching liberation from all craving. And how is such freeing removal of all craving, how is such ceasing of all craving gained, won, gotten? Whenever in the world there's anything attractive and pleasant, it is right there and right then, on this very spot, that this craving is deliberately left behind and therefore ceases. And what is there in this world that is attractive and pleasant? The eye in this world is attractive and pleasant. The ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is attractive and pleasant. And there this craving ceases and gradually fades away. Sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and mental states are attractive and amusing, and there this craving ceases bit by bit and thus stops. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mental consciousness in this world is attractive and alluring. And there this craving ceases and finally finishes. All eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, bodily contact, mental contact in this world is attractive and tempting. And there this craving ceases and slowly fades away. Any feeling born of eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, mind contact in this world is appealing and fascinating. And right there, this craving ceases and steadily dies. The perception and experience of any sight, any sound, any smell, any taste, any touch, and any thought is quite interesting and captivating. And there this craving ceases and grows dim. Intention, wishing, wanting and hoping for certain sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, thoughts, ideas and mental states is enthralling and intriguing. And there this craving ceases and dissolves itself. The craving itself, the drive, the push and rush for various sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and mental states in this world is attractive and seductive. And there this craving also ceases and is progressively eliminated. Thinking of any sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mental state in this world are attractive and is tantalizing. And there this craving ceases and fades off drop by drop. Prolonged pondering on certain sights, sounds, dreaming on them, smells, tastes, touches, and the manifold diversity of mental states in this world are attractive and enticing. And there this craving also fades away. It is stilled. It ceases and is finally all eliminated. And that, bhikkhus, is called the third noble truth on the ceasing of suffering. The third noble truth is the extinguishing of the fire of craving, tanha, ceases all suffering. No craving, no suffering. Absence of craving stops all suffering. On the fourth and last noble truth, the noble eightfold way ceases suffering. The blessed Buddha once said, one should dwell reflecting on all phenomena as mental states in the light of these four noble truths. How does one do so? Here one sees, understands, and knows this as it verily and really is. All this is suffering. Craving is causing all that suffering. Absence of craving ceases all suffering. This noble eightfold way is the only method to cease, end, and stop all suffering. And what, bhikkhus, is this noble truth on the way to cease all suffering? It is just this noble eightfold way, namely, right view, sammaditthi, right motivation, sammasankappa, right speech, sammavajja, right action, sammakamanta, right livelihood, samma-ajiva, right effort, sammavajjama, right awareness, sammasati, and right concentration, samma-samadhi. The eight spokes in the Buddhist wheel each symbolizes a step on this noble eightfold way. So if you see a Buddhist wheel, there will always be 8 spokes or 10 spokes. 10 spokes is for the Arhat, who has 2 more states. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right view? It is because knowing such is suffering, such is the cause of suffering, knowing such is the ceasing of suffering, knowing such is the way leading to the cessation of suffering. This is called right view. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right motivation? Being motivation by withdrawal, by goodwill, by being motivated to utter harmlessness. This, bhikkhus and friends, is called right motivations. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right speech? Refraining from any lying, from any slandering, from any scolding, and refraining from any empty gossip. That is called right speech. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right action? Not killing, not stealing, not cheating, and avoiding all sexual misconduct. This is called right action. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right livelihood? Here, bhikkhus and friends, the noble disciple, having given up all wrong livelihood, lives by right livelihood. This is right livelihood. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right effort? Here, one makes a decision, makes an effort, stirs up energy, exerts the mind, and strives to prevent the arising of unarising, evil, disadvantageous mental states. One makes a decision and strives hard to overcome any evil, detrimental mental state that already have arisen. One makes a decision and strives to develop any yet unarising, advantageous mental state. And one makes a decision, one makes an effort, stirs up energy, exerts the mind, and strives to maintain any advantageous mental state that already have arisen, not letting them fade away, growing them greater, to be fulfilled by perfection and development. This is called right effort. And what, bhikkhus and friends, is right awareness? Here one dwells considering the body as a group of mere form, alert and clearly comprehending, thereby ending any worldly urge and trouble. One dwells considering feeling just as assigned responses, alert and clearly comprehending, thereby ending all worldly urge and trouble. One dwells considering the mind and mentality just as an ever-changing series of moods, while alert, clearly comprehending and aware, thereby ending all worldly urge and trouble. One dwells considering all phenomena only as momentary mental states, while alert, clearly comprehending and aware, thereby ending all worldly urge and trouble. This is called right awareness. And what, friends, is right concentration? Secluded from sensual desires, protected from any detrimental mental states, one enters and dwells in the first jhana, full of joy and pleasure, born of solitude, joined with directed and sustained thought. Again, with the stilling of this directed and sustained thoughts, one enters and dwells in the second jhana, calmed and assured unification of mind. In joy and pleasure now born of concentration, which is empty, void of all thought and all thinking. Again, friends, with the fading away of joy, one dwells in serene equanimity, just aware and clearly comprehending, still feeling bodily pleasure. One enters and remains in the third jhana, regarding which the noble ones declare, in aware equanimity, one dwells in happiness. Again, friends, with the leaving behind of both pleasure and pain, as with the prior fading away of both joy and sorrow, one enters and dwells in the fourth jhana, a serene mental state of still, open, and clear awareness, purified by the equanimity of neither pain nor pleasure. This is right concentration. That, bhikkhus, is called the noble way leading to the ceasing of suffering. The fourth noble truth to end all suffering is this noble, eightfold way. And this ends the exposition of rolling the wheel of the true Dhamma, the first speech of the Buddha, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and its commentary. Thank you for your attention. Namo Tasso Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Worthy, honorable, and perfectly self-enlightened was the blessed Buddha. Thank you. You heard Bhikkhu Samahita from the Cypress Hermitage on the Knuckles Mountain, Bambarella, Central Hill Country, Sri Lanka. Please subscribe to the Google group Buddha Direct and visit the website whatbuddhasaid.net. May all beings become thus happy thereby. Thank you. Namo Tasso Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Worthy, honorable, and perfectly self-enlightened was the blessed Buddha.